Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse and I am back for another, theoretically, a PC accessible game spotlight video. I was clued into this game about 2 weeks ago or so, and it is a game called Firebird. I know absolutely nothing about it, other than the fact it is supposed to be screen reader accessible. I have the Steam version. I'm not sure if it's available on GOG as well, or Epic, but it is a PC game. And I have NVDA running in the background. When I started, the first thing that it asked is it said press V as in Victor to start the screen reader. And then it asked me to hit V again to confirm. And now I can use my arrow keys on the menu.
Credits. Settings. New game.
New game.
Settings. Credits. Quit. New game. Settings.
So let's go into settings here. I have not played this at all. All I've done is gone into the settings a little bit here. So we have our, it doesn't say game tab or anything, so you kind of have to figure that out. But you have tabs across the top here, kind of a multi-page dialogue.
Graphics. Sound. Controls. Accessibility.
So let's go back into game.
Language English.
I'm just going to arrow down. English language.
Text speed normal.
Text speed normal, that's fine.
Restore default. Back.
And then back.
Tutorial.
And tutorial.
Back.
Let's go.
Blank game. Graphics. Resolution 1920 x 1080. Window mode windowed borderless.
Okay.
Sound. Master volume 100. Game 100. Interface 100. Game map sound. Controls. Open/close map M. Open/close logs L. Photo mode B.
So there's a few keys here.
Accessibility.
Now accessibility, there's a few things under here.
Screen reader, yes. Bigger font size, yes.
That was off by default. I turned that on as well.
Set shaking, yes.
So you can turn shaking on and off.
Character shaking, yes. Text shaking, yes.
A few different shaking options here.
Particle effects, yes. Interface transparency, no.
I turned that off because I'm guessing if I turn that off, things will be more opaque, and so if I need to see something, you won't sort of have that kind of glow through, the kind of transparency.
Restore default.
And that's it. So
back. Tutorial.
I want to see what this tutorial thing
when
is.
You hear the sound, the characters on the left side of the screen's layout has changed. Press the left arrow button on the controller or control and the left arrow on the keyboard to hear the description. Press the A button, Xbox, the X button, PlayStation, or enter to continue.
Huh. I wonder, I don't have my controller hooked up, but I'm gonna plug that in really quick, because I just want to see. This might be an interesting game just to play with a controller, and we're gonna confirm accessibility either way. Alright.
Back. Tutorial.
Okay, yep.
Back. Settings.
So yeah, well, I'm gonna use the controller.
New game. Loading in progress.
Awesome. Another accessible game, you guys. Let's see how this works. I mean, I think it's a
screen reader tutorial. Press the V button on the keyboard, the X button on the Xbox controller, or the square button on the PlayStation controller. Otherwise, press the A button, Xbox, the X button.
That's awesome.
Thank you for playing Firebird. If you use a screen reader, we advise you to play with the controller. This game has additional descriptions. You can use the directional arrows on the controller or control and the directional arrows on the keyboard to replay the additional descriptions as well as the last spoken line. Press the A button, Xbox, the X button, PlayStation, or the Enter button to continue.
I don't know if this is going to be a little fast for some people. I mean, I guess I could...
NVDA menu. Preferences submenu P. Settings. S. NVDA setting. Speech 2 of 14. Speech property change. But voice. Combo bot rate. Slider 20 Alt plus R. 19. 18. 7. 16. 15. Voice. Edit category. Apply but cancel but OK button. Firebird.
There, that should be enough. That should be you. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit A.
There was a country. Let's call it Russia.
Okay. Let's.
We have a saying in Russia that goes like this. There is no winter in the kingdom of hope.
Okay. And look at even if you want to look at this visually and you don't want to play with text-to-speech or you want to have a combo, I chose the larger text and I turned off the transparency. That is very clear It's decent sized text, good contrast. So I don't know if this is like an adventure game or a visual novel. Like I said, I kind of just wanted to go in as fresh as humanly possible. All I needed to know is that it supported screen readers and that it was supposed to be blind playable. So guess what? That's what we're doing.
And believe me, it's less than 10 degrees all year round here.
Okay. That's...
My name is Mariska.
Okay, and I heard that little thing on the left, so that's... Okay, that's the person, my character.
I know the world, from Hungary to Kamchatka. I know it because I transport goods in my truck, the Firebird.
Ah, okay, that's where the Firebird comes from. Okay. So you know how many times there has been like these indie showcases and things, and they always show tons of these games with these little text boxes, and none of it is voiced, or it's gibberish, just to simulate spoken audio. I wish more games would be like this, because I would probably play a heck of a lot more of these.
I hardly earn a living, I just manage to survive. On good days I can set a little aside, but on bad days I have barely enough to pay for gas.
Huh. Been there, except for been able to barely live. I've been there. Sucks.
Maybe one day I can leave the kingdom of winter and finally find a bit of hope.
Okay. And I like it. It's kind of got a hand-drawn art style. It's I like the look of it.
Maybe today is that day. Andre says no. We like you, Mariska. We really do. But the answer is niet.
Niet. Yeah, that is Russia. I like that it says it properly.
The rules are the same for everyone. You don't leave the Cray without repaying Turguine. Mariska says I paid him back. Andre says you paid him back for the truck itself, sure. But there's still the interest.
That's how they get you.
Choice phase.
Oh.
Andre says you paid him back for the truck itself, sure. But there's still the interest. Andre says an abandoned hangar covered in snow. An abandoned hangar covered in snow. To the right, Andre and Nikolai. Two mobsters, one is blonde and the other has brown hair. Both are built like tanks. Andre is armed with a crowbar.
Oh, okay, so I'm trying to figure out here, when I'm hitting left and right here...
To the left, Mariska is tied to a chair.
Oh.
To the left, Mariska is tied to a chair.
Yep, okay.
To the right, Andre and Nikolai. Two mobsters, one is blonde and the other has brown hair. Both are built like tanks. Andre is armed with a crowbar. I love it.
Even audio description. Oh, wow.
To the right, Andre and Nikolai. Two mobs. Andre says you paid him back for the truck. Andre says you paid him back for the truck.
So how do I...
You paid him back. An abandoned hangar covered in snow. Option 1, how did you find me?
Okay, if I use the analog stick.
Option
Okay.
2, come on then.
I was using the D-pad.
Option 1, how did you find me? Option 2, come on then. When are you going to rough me up? Option 3, fine. I get it. I'll go back to Zavostke. Option 1, how did you find me? Mariska says, how did you find me? A GPS tracker hidden under the truck.
Ah.
Andre says no, we just waited here. There's only one road heading south out of Zavodsk. And you're not going to risk going off-road in that old rust bucket of yours. Mariska says, hey, leave the Firebird out of this. Choice phase. Option 1, come on then. When are you going to rough me up? Option 2, fine. I get it. I'll go back to Zavostke.
I'm gonna be a smart ass.
Option 1, come on then. When are you going to rough me up? Andre says, I said we like you, Mariska. Don't be like that. Mariska says, why did you tie me up then?
Yeah, exactly, fair point.
Andre says, Turguine said, tie her up and make sure she doesn't do this again. We're just following orders. Choice phase. Option 1, fine, I get it. Mariska says, fine, I get it. I'll go back to Zavostke.
Okay.
The pair exchange a smirk as they set you free. Your legs tingle as the blood rushes back into them. The Firebird awaits you in the darkness of the frozen night.
Okay. So again, I don't know if it's just going to be basically choose your own adventure dialogue kind of a thing, and we can... So we use our D-pad to basically explore the scene, and it describes different elements like people or probably objects or something of significance. And when you hear the little beep on the left, that's kind of where I am in the scene, I guess. And then remember before we heard two different beeps. So I think that's telling us that we have two different things in the scene that we can get a description for. And then we use our analog stick to, at least so far, navigate our dialogue choices.
Andre says we searched your truck, you understand. No contraband, no hidden passengers. And the hardest drug we found was your coffee thermos.
Yeah, fair.
You've earned your reputation as a good little girl.
Okay.
Normally we take our payment in whatever we find, but this time. He continues to stare at you, waiting for something. You know that look. Choice phase. Option 1, give him a bribe. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected. Option 2, give him nothing. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected.
I don't want a bribe, man. I want to be good.
Mariska says that's all I've got. You really think I'd be here otherwise? Andre says if you don't pay me for my work, it'll be your truck. He yanks on your rear bumper with a crowbar, prying it off with a loud screech.
Uh-oh.
Mariska says leave my truck alone, what did it ever do to you? Resource info, your truck wears by one.
Oh.
Deep down you wish it had been you instead of your beloved Firebird.
Okay,
you get
well.
into the cab and angrily slam the door.
Okay, so right now, if I either give up cash or now I lose my bumper.
To the left. To the right, Mariska. To the right, Mariska. A brunette who's never seen without her baseball cap. She's approaching her 30s. She wears a comfortable trucker outfit, a hooded jacket, loose-fitting pants, and sturdy hiking boots.
Oh, this is so well done.
Everything seems to be as you left it. Your radio, your map, your CD.
So I'm just hitting A to progress the dialogue boxes.
Mariska says okay, time to head back to the Kingdom of Winter.
All right, back to Mother
sound,
Russia.
Press the right trigger or the letter M to open the map. You are currently on the map. 1 destinations are currently available. Use the left stick on the controller or the directional arrow buttons on the keyboard to choose your next destination.
Oh.
Sometimes, only 1 destination may be available. Press the A button, Xbox, the X button, PlayStation, or the Enter button to confirm your choice.
Okay,
Press the arrow buttons on the controller or Control and the arrow buttons on the key. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot.
Guess we're going to the depot.
Opening video. Approximate duration, 15 seconds. Written by FibreTigre, illustrated by Quentin, Vijoux music and sound, Franck Weber, development by Ludogram.
We got a truck that's driving, so it's not telling us necessarily the movie.
Truck condition, 2 out of 5.
Oh.
Money available, 2 out of 6.
Okay.
Money available, truck condition, 2, truck condition.
I'm just hitting left and right on the D-pad. So there's our title. So then it zooms back out to the map. I suppose it would be kind of hard to do stuff on the fly, but that's something they could figure out.
Depot.
Okay.
To the right. To the left. To the right. To the right. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot.
Oh, I just hit A, okay.
Ivan says Mariska, there you are. I was waiting for you. Resource info, your fuel reserves diminish by 1.
Oh, goody. Okay, so we got some resource management. Yeah, we got money, our truck durability or whatever, and we have fuel now.
To the right, Ivan. A young man who seems like a bit of a dunce. He wears a red beanie and has 3-day stubble. He seems shy and reserved.
Okay.
To the left, Mariska. A brunette who's never seen without her
And
baseball
there's our
cap.
description, so I'm just going to
She's
hit
approaching
A.
her choice phase. Option 1, I told you I was leaving for good. Option 2, you needed me. Selecting this option will block the other option 1, I told you option 2, you needed me. Mariska says you needed me. Ivan looks around furtively, as if worried people might be watching. You get out of your truck so he can speak to you.
Okay.
You couldn't see her from the cab, but Ivan isn't alone.
So now you heard those 2 different sounds. Now if I use my D-pad, I should at least have 2 different things I can look at, I think.
To the right, Vasilisa. A young girl about 12 years old. She has long blonde hair and very pale skin. She wears a white traditional dress with a swan pattern. Ivan.
Okay.
A young man who seems like a bit of a dunce. He wears a red beanie and has 3-day stubble. He seems shy and reserved.
Okay, so now we have two people that it's describing on the right side of the screen.
To the left, Mariska. A brunette. To the left, Mariska. To the
okay,
right,
and that's it.
Vasilisa. A
So
young
we'll
girl
hit
in
A.
traditional rural attire stands next to him. Ivan says, I picked her up off the side of the road last night. I don't know what to do with her, and I really need to go look after my sick mother. Can you look after her for a while?
Sure, why not?
Choice phase. Option 1, look at the girl. Option 2, you've told her about this at least, right? Option 3, do I look like a nanny? Option 4, I am doing this for you, not her. Option 1, look at the girl. Her skin is as fresh as a daisy. Her clothes are traditional, made from pure white fabric. She's far from home. Choice phase.
Apologies if you hear the thunder in the background. Probably not the smartest time to be recording a video, but we were supposed to get a thunderstorm this evening, but I wasn't sure if we actually would, because it's been saying that all day and we haven't. But of course, now that I start recording a video, thunder, so hopefully I don't lose power.
Option 1, you've told her about this at least, right? Mariska says you've told her about this at least, right? Ivan says told my mom. Mariska says the girl. Ivan raises an eyebrow and shrugs. Choice phase. Option 1, do I look like a nanny? Option 2, I am doing this for you, not her. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected.
I don't really like either one, because both of them are kind of snippy.
Option 1, do I look like a
nanny? Do I look like a nanny?
Selecting this option will block the other options
from being selected. Because then the girl
selected.
will hear and be like, oh, well, I'm not a little kid or whatever.
Option 2, I am doing this for you.
But then if you say that, you're cold to the girl.
Will block the other options from being
I don't
selected.
like either choice, really. I'll do the second one.
Mariska says I'm doing this for you, not her. Ivan doesn't have a chance to thank you. Dmitri is heading straight for you. Dmitri says, Mariska. Back already.
Who might you be?
Who'd have thought it? Mariska in trouble with Turguine. To the right, Vasilisa. A young girl about 12 years old. She has long blonde hair and very pale skin. She wears a white traditional dress with a swan pattern. Dmitri. A very tall, skeletal man. He is in his 30s.
Yeah, he's skinny.
His mocking gaze and little smirk exude deep contempt for Mariska. Ivan. A young man who seems like a bit of a dunce. He wears a red beanie and has 3-day stubble. He seems shy and reserved.
Here's one thing that I would kind of like to see maybe a little bit differently, is it seems like they're just splitting the screen in half, the left side and the right side. I kind of wish you could use your D-pad and just cycle between each thing. Like if I, because it described the girl, then the new guy, and then the original guy when we were still in our truck. But if I could just hit, the D-pad to cycle between everybody, and then I could just hear like, oh, I don't care about hearing the girl description because I already heard about her. I just wanted to hear about the new guy that joined the scene. So rather than splitting it up left and right, if I could just hit left and right on the D-pad to cycle between all of the potential characters or items of interest on the screen. Just a thought. Still cool, though.
Mariska says let's talk about this in. Ivan says Turguine. Mariska says, private. Dmitri says she didn't tell you, Ivan. Andrei and Nikolai caught her trying to make a break for it. As you can imagine, Turguine didn't take it very well. At this rate, all of Zavodsk will know by noon. The situation is getting out of hand.
And visually you're not really getting an audio cue versus like what's dialogue versus, not really a scene description, but like the narrator voice essentially. So but in color, the dialogues that people speak are in white, and then you have the dark background for basically the narrator kind of giving you extra bits of information. So maybe you can have like a slight little chime or something just to say that, I mean, it's obvious when you're hearing it, but since they're doing chimes and stuff, you don't have to have necessarily a sound effect for dialogue, but you could have one just to say like, hey, this is a narrator dialogue, kind of like when you hear this. But, again, no big deal at all. All right, what do we want?
Option 1, so you're officially one of Turguine's lackeys now. Option 2, let's get down to it. What does he want from me? Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected.
I'm going to play it straight. I'm not going to be... I'm pretty low on resources as it is, so I'm not going to take him off.
Mariska says let's get down to it. What does he want from me? Dimitri says you don't go disappearing before you've paid your debts, Mariska. Prove to Turguine that you're serious about paying him back. Find a big contract. Equal to a few deliveries, at least.
Okay.
If you don't get some work soon, he'll have you finish paying him back some other way.
And again, I'm just hitting A to progress through the dialogues.
Mariska says he wants to sell my organs or something. My lungs can't be worth a lot, given how much I've smoked. Dimitri says the Firebird should be enough.
No, the Firebird, you already stole my bumper.
Mariska says you can't do that. Dimitri says of course we can. You should know better than anyone that our trucks are worth more than our people.
No, yeah. Yeah, doesn't that sound about right for business and modern society? Yeah. Who cares? We'll just crap all over the employees, but executives and property, I won't rant any further, because I could.
Mariska says but I've already paid most of it off. And I need it to work.
Well, yeah.
I won't be able to pay Turguine back at all without it.
Exactly.
Dimitri sneers and gets back to work. But the message is clear, you have to find a contract, and fast.
Okie dokie.
Ivan says good luck, Mariska. My mom needs me, I have to go take care of her. Ivan runs to his truck and drives off. Mariska says there you go, kid. The end of my miserable career. Says I can get you a job. You start in surprise, it's the first time you've heard her speak. She has a job. Scarcely able to believe it, you walk behind the Firebird with the young girl, out of sight of any prying eyes.
Okay, so now I have a new scene.
To the right. To the right. To the left. To the right. To the
Doesn't
right.
actually... Okay, that's interesting.
Mariska says so, tell me everything. To the left Mariska. A brunette. To the right Basilissa. A young girl about 12 years old. Choice phase. Option 1 what do you want to haul? Option 2 where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Says to my village, far to the north. Choice phase. Option 1 what do you want to haul? Option 2 how far? Mariska says how far? Says quite far. Mariska says star size star. You start pessimistically estimating fuel costs. Choice phase. Option 1 what do you want to haul? Option 2 does this village have a name? Mariska says does this village have a name? Says we just call it the village.
Of course they do.
Sounds like some podunk town in the middle of nowhere. Mariska says is there a road that goes to this village?
Yeah, the road.
Says yes, that's how I got here. Choice phase. Option 1 what do you want to haul? Mariska says what do you want to haul? Says food. Okay, that seems legal at least.
Okay.
Choice phase. Option 1 you got any money? Mariska says you got any money? She hands you some crumpled bills. Wow, they're so old and torn. It's a pittance, barely enough to pay for gas to the next town. Choice phase. Option 1 is that all you've got? Mariska says is that all you've got? She looks at you and nods sadly.
Everybody's down on their luck in here.
Mariska says you know I'm trying to earn a living here, right? This isn't even enough to cover the fuel it would take to get to your village. Her eyes fill with tears. Choice phase. Option 1 do you have any family who could help? Option 2 is there gas in your village? Option 3 your village doesn't have a bigger budget? Option 1 do you have any option 3 your village option 1 do you have any family who could help? Mariska says do you have any family who could help? Says the village is my only family.
Okay.
Mariska says.
Okay, ... basically.
Choice phase. Option 1 is there gas in your village? Is there gas in your village? Says I don't know. Mariska says how do they keep themselves warm? With wood. Do they have electricity? She looks at you tearfully.
Not really.
Choice phase. Option 1 your village doesn't have a bigger budget?
Okay, so I was curious. Well, I know that sometimes they'll say it'll block off other choices, so these I can just kind of exhaust every possibility here.
Mariska says your village doesn't have a bigger budget? Says what do you mean? Mariska says more money. You want food for your village. I want food for Mariska. And for the Firebird too. Says we could give you some pelts. Choice phase. Option 1 pelts. What kind of pelts? Mariska says pelts. What kind of pelts? Says bear. Wow.
Okay, bear.
Now those are valuable. But also illegal.
Now, when I'm curious, I've just been hitting A. What if I hit X? Nothing?
Map opened.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, Y is the map.
Closed.
B does nothing. Oh, yeah, and then the trigger does the map. Right. Left trigger, nothing. Bumpers do nothing. Okay, so it's a very simple interface, and it seems like I can only... If I go to my map here,
open.
Let me see something.
Truck condition, 2 out of 5.
Okay, so when I go to the map, if I use the D-pad left and right...
Money available, 2 out of 6. Truck condition, 2 out of 5. Truck condition, 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Map closed.
So that's where I can check not only my destination with the analog stick. So, yeah, your analog stick and D-pad just do different things. So that's cool.
They might be illegal, but a part of you starts counting what those pelts could get you in your head. Says White Tiger. Mariska says what? Says they're huge, ferocious beasts that can devour even the most seasoned hunter. And they're white as snow. Mariska says no, but I know what they are. Now that's very, very illegal. It's big trouble. But it's also the only way to quickly pay off your debt and regain your freedom. Choice phase. Option 1 okay, I'll take the pelts.
Let's go.
Selecting Mariska says okay, I'll take the pelts. The young girl's face brightens.
I don't know how long this game is, so I'm going to play a little bit longer just to see if there are any different mechanics. But if this is really just a matter of, like, even when you select dialogue choices or actions, and then, you know, sometimes it'll affect, like, the people, how they react to you, or maybe it'll raise or lower your money or your your vehicle stats, basically. This seems like a pretty simple game in concept, but again, you're looking at a visual novel essentially that they've made screen reader accessible. So I'm not knocking it for lack of, you know, gameplay depth or anything, because, like I said, the visual novels are generally meant to be straightforward. Let's keep going.
Mariska says don't tell anyone about them. Don't even mention the word pelts. Say apples instead. Got it?
Ah, okay, yep. And because I also don't want to go too far in, because as this game is accessible, you've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again, I want to encourage people to go out and buy this game for themselves. And, you know, not necessarily ask for a code, but, I mean, you know, go buy it. Go pick it up. You know, support the developer so that they and more developers can in turn make more accessible games, because that's what we want.
The deal is struck.
Okay, handshake.
The girl nods.
Now if I...
To the left, Mariska and a young girl shake hands.
Oh,
Mariska,
okay.
A brunette who's never seen without her baseball cap.
So,
to the right, Vasilisa. Mariska
okay,
says
that's
I'm
cool.
Mariska, and my truck is called the Firebird. Vasilisa says I'm Vasilisa. Looks like you have a new customer. Choice phase. Option 1 where's the cargo we're moving? Mariska says where's the cargo we're moving? Vasilisa says I don't have it yet. Is there a market nearby? A shadow crosses your face. You realize you won't be leaving anytime soon. Mariska says follow me, there's one nearby. When you hear this sound, press the right trigger or the letter M to open the map.
Alright.
Map opened. Meat market.
Ah, okay.
Meat market. Meat market. Meat market. A large market open to the freezing winds. There's almost no one here at this early hour. To the left, Mariska. A brunette who's to the right, Vasilisa. To the right, a snow-covered market at the foot of some apartment
And then if
buildings.
I hit up, okay.
Fresh fish and meat are sold. There's hardly anyone around. A snow-covered market at the foot, a large market open to the freezing winds.
And then down says
There's
the
almost
same
no one.
thing.
You walk to the covered stands. The girl doesn't seem to feel the cold. Vasilisa says they sell food here? Mariska says yes, and they don't even need freezers to keep it cold. Choice phase. Option 1, look at the stalls. The meat is frozen solid. But these are large cuts ready for butchering.
Meat.
You'll need it on pallets. Basilisa says, is that really edible? Choice phase. Option 1, what do you eat in your village? Option 2, get a merchant's attention selecting this option 1, what do you eat in your village? Pine cones. Mariska says, what do you eat in your village? Pine cones. Basilisa says, animal-shaped, animals.
Animal-shaped animals.
Mariska says, animal-shaped animals are prettier to look at, but harder to transport. Choice phase. Option 1, get a merchant's attention select. A sinister voice rings out behind you as you look for a merchant.
Oh, spelling error there. A merchant. I think you meant merchant. A little typo there.
Says Mariska. My favorite trucker. To the left, Basilisa. To the right, Turguine. A bald man in his 50s. Very tall and large in width.
Yeah.
He wears a black puffy jacket.
That's the guy you're trying to pay off.
He has a scar over his eye and a serious face.
Okay.
You turn and immediately recognize the speaker. Mariska says, what luck to see you here so early, Turguine. Turguine says, how unlucky you always are, Mariska. I've just given a very, very interesting job to our good friend Ivan. What about you? How goes your prospecting? Rumor has it you've given up on paying me back. Choice phase. Option 1, I've already paid you more than the price of the truck itself. Option 2, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to that merchant. Option 3, what this contract of Ivan's. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected. Option 2, I don't want to talk to you. Option 1, I've already paid you more than the... Mariska says, I've already paid you more than the price of the truck itself. Turguine says, that's generally how a loan works.
Well, yeah.
You glower at him. Turguine says, there is a thin line between success and failure, Mariska. You should step out of your comfort zone. A resourceful girl like you. Choice phase. Option 1, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to that merchant. Mariska says, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to that merchant. Turguine says, and I'm in charge of the market sellers here. Who wants to talk to the monkey when they can talk to the organ grinder instead?
Boy, yeah, this guy just seems to be running the whole show.
Mariska says, who knows? I'd probably have more luck by finding someone honest. Turguine says, but you're talking to me. What are you here for? Basilisa says, we want to buy some food. Turguine says, oh, what a cutie. Is she your sister? Choice phase. Option 1, Turguine, you're talking to me, not her. Option 2, are you deaf? We want food. Option 3, this girl is my customer. Option 4, what this contract of Ivan's. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected. Option 1, Turguine, you're talking to me, not her.
I'm just going to direct the conversation elsewhere.
Mariska says, what this contract of Ivan's. Turguine says, food for a luxury hotel. He's going southeast, where it's warm. Food.
Indeed.
Choice phase. Option 1, I'd like to know where to find Ivan's family. Mariska says, I'd like to know where to find Ivan's family. Turguine says, and why should I talk about the private life of one of my men? Choice phase. Option 1, he asked me to check up on his mother. Mariska says, he asked me to check up on his mother. And since he's already left. Turguine says, true. He told me things weren't good. That's why I gave him this contract. Mariska says, my goodness, is that a heart beating behind those fatty walls? Turguine says, don't spread it around, my reputation would be ruined. Mariska says, so, where's his mother? Turguine says, I'm going to need a favor.
Of course.
Mariska says, what do you think I am, a delivery boy? Turguine says, just a small favor. Choice phase. Option 1, what do you want in exchange? So Mariska says, what do you want in exchange? Turguine holds out a sealed leather bag. Turguine says, give this to Dimitri. Don't open it. If you open it, or lose it, you'll soon find out why all your fellows obey me like they do. You take the leather bag. Turguine says, and hurry up and find a contract. A lucrative one.
I wonder if I will be able to disobey him and see what's in there.
Mariska says, with this girl's business, you'll soon be repaid. I promise. When you hear this sound, press the right trigger or the letter M to open the map. Map opened. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot. Zavodsk Depot.
Alright, well, let's see what we get here. Okay, so this is where we
Firebird
were.
is usually parked. Back where you started.
Right.
Choice phase. Option 1 Turguine is an S. Option 2 Hey, can someone lend me some money? Option 3 Give the bag to Dimitri. Selecting this option will block the other options from being. Option 4 Open the sealed bag. Selecting this option will block the other options from being selected.
Okay, so it's an either or. It's not a thing where I can look at it and
the
then
other
give
options
it
from
to
being
him.
selected.
We'll just give it to him.
Mariska says Dimitri. Come here. Dimitri stops his game of Durek and joins you in a corner of the depot. To the left Vasilisa. A young girl about to the left, a dilapidated depot. Trucks are parked in rows. The atmosphere is calm, there aren't many people around. Dimitri stops his game of Durek and joins you. To the right Dimitri. A very tall, skeletal man.
Okay, so
a dilapidated depot.
the
Trucks are parked in rows. The atmosphere is calm.
Up will
there
tell
aren't many
you
people around.
The environment detail, and then down will tell you the initial prompt when you start the scene, or where you're at, and then left and right or whatever's on the left and right. Okay.
Dimitri says, what do you want? You hold out the bag. Dimitri takes it, looking at it suspiciously. Dimitri says, you didn't open it, did you? Mariska says, what do you take me for, a thief? Now it's up to Turguine to keep up his end of the bargain. When you hear this sound, press the right trigger or the letter M to open the map. Map opened. Truck condition, 2 out of 5. Meat market. Meat market. Meat market. A large market open to the freezing winds. Turguine waits for you, hands stuffed in his pockets.
How much you want to bet he doesn't keep his end of the bargain?
Choice phase. Option 1 I gave the bag to Dimitri. Mariska says I gave the bag to Dimitri. Turguine nods. Turguine says Ivan's family lives at 27 Zavodskia, a big apartment complex.
Okay.
Mariska says quick to keep up your side of the bargain. Turguine says an excellent quality in business dealings. Maybe
Fair.
You should learn from my example. When you hear this sound, press the right trigger or the letter M to open the map. Map opened. 27 Zavodskia. 27 Zavodskia.
So that's all I can go. I'm going to start this scene, and then we're going to wrap it up here, because again, I don't want to give too much away. This game does seem very accessible, very straightforward. Even if you were playing with a keyboard, it seems like it tells you what exact keys you need to press. And even when you're using a controller, I like the nice touch where it's like, oh, we know that the most common controllers are the Xbox or the PlayStation controller. If somebody owns a console already, just plug in the controller or whatever, and tells you whichever one you're using, tells you which button to press. So again, very simple, very straightforward, but not a bad touch at all. Nice touch.
You drive next to a huge concrete building ravaged by the cold. It's depressing.
Okay.
A residential neighborhood made up of apartment buildings. The place is deteriorating. On the horizon, a factory spews smoke. A truck is parked nearby.
Yep. Truck is in front of that building in front of us.
To the left. To the right. Ivan's truck, the Grey Wolf, is parked in front of the entrance to number 27.
Everybody names their trucks, huh?
Choice phase. Option 1 Look at Ivan's truck. Option 2 Enter number 27. Selecting this option will block the other. Option 1 Look at Ivan's truck. You look while next to the truck cab. To the left Mariska. A brunette who's never seen without her baseball cap. She's approaching her 30s. She wears a comfortable trucker outfit, a hooded jacket, loose-fitting pants, and sturdy hiking boots.
So I was curious if it would say anything else. See, that's where, just like on your map screen, and you can toggle, with your D-pad between your resources, I do wish that, like, in case there is something new, where I can just toggle between them and not have to hear everything at once on each side.
To the right, Vasilisa. To the right, you approach the vehicle. It's a big green truck. It must be able to hold several thousand kilos worth of cargo.
Okay.
There are piles of boxes in the back of the truck. It's food.
Okay, so I smell a moral choice coming. Do we steal the food and run, or do we go and try to negotiate with him? How much you want to bet that's what's going to happen?
Vasilisa says the Grey Wolf. Why that name? Choice phase. Option 1, I guess it's meant to impress people. Option 2, pop the lock on the truck. Selecting this option will block the option 3. Enter number 27. Selecting this option 1, I guess it's meant to impress. Mariska says I guess it's meant to impress people. Vasilisa says and the Firebird. Mariska says Russians love the name. I chose it because it's good for business. Vasilisa says you're not Russian. Mariska says I am Russian, until you can prove otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
Vasilisa runs her fingers over the Grey Wolf wording on the truck. Choice phase.
Well, dun dun dun.
Option 1, are you afraid of wolves? Option 2, pop the lock on the truck. Select option 1, are you afraid of wolves?
We're going to do this conversation
Mariska says,
here.
are you afraid of wolves? Vasilisa says in the old legends, the Grey Wolf was Ivan's advisor. Mariska says no one knows those legends. But Siberia is full of Grey Wolves and Russia is full of Ivans. Coincidence? Choice phase.
So, what am I going to choose? You're not going to know, because that's where we were going to end this video. If you want to find out the consequences of just grabbing the food and running, or going in to talk to the guy in the building, I recommend checking the game out for yourself. It is called Firebird, and now I understand why it is called such. So, yeah, we are going to end it here. Very nice accessibility. I had zero trouble. I mean, like I said, first thing you hear when you start the game, it prompts you if you need screen reader access. You do what it tells you to do, and you're underway. The game itself is very straightforward, control-wise, gameplay-wise. So, yeah, we are going to wrap it up here, but hope you guys enjoyed another accessible PC game. Again, I'm playing the Steam version. I don't remember how much the game is, but it's not a terrible price. It didn't seem like it was all that expensive from what I remember, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegally-cited, illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. And yes, I keep saying Twitter because it's just instinctual. I'm so used to doing my closing, and part of me just wants to keep calling X Twitter because even though I still use it a lot and it's still really cool, X is kind of a dumb name. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.